All right, just a sort of amusing little video here. Hopefully, you'll find it slightly amusing anyway. I'm not a flat earth guy. That's not to say I have a problem with flat earth guys. Uh, it's just not my thing. Now, is it true? Is the earth flat? Well, probably not, but I don't know. Maybe it is. I just don't know. I don't know for sure. Um, but mostly I'm just not interested in the question that much. I mean, it's an interesting thing to hear people talk about and speculate about. But I've recorded a couple of videos before where I've said it's really strange that only in the last 5 years or so that suddenly flat Earth became this thing. That's odd. That's odd to me. For most of my life, even the most conservative of people, even the most fundamentalist minded types out there, and I don't use fundamentalist in any kind of slighting way. I'm just trying to describe the mentality, the sort of people who would say the Bible is literally to be taken as factual, and that the Earth is something like 6,000 years old. Up until very, very recently, none of them had any problem with a Copernican model and believing that the Earth was a sphere and that it was the third planet from the sun in a solar system which contains many stars, or in a solar system which is part of a galaxy containing many other stars, and all of that stuff. You just didn't find anybody like that in the 80s or 90s, even into the aughts. But somehow in the last really 5 years, maybe a little bit longer than that, flat Earth has become this thing that I know you don't have to be religious to believe in it, but it's become this thing where, the Bible says the firmament, so that shows you that flat Earth is real. Again, I know that there are other people who approach it in other in other ways, but I just find it strange that it just wasn't a thing until very, very, very recently. Now, not to get into a flat Earth debate here. I know probably some people out there are sympathetic to flat Earth. Probably some people out there are scornful of flat Earth, but this isn't about debating flat Earth, whether it's true or not. What I find interesting is this is somebody's Instagram page, Flat Earther 100, and what I find interesting here is that I've generally not seen the phaggg-checkers really harass the flat Earth people that much. I know that the phaggg-checkers and their cronies look down on flat Earth people, but they don't seem to get all bent out of shape about the flat Earth thing. They just kind of, I mean, from what I have seen, they just regard it as silly. But interestingly, this page, which I found myself visiting, it's not worth telling the story about how I alighted on this page, but I just want to share a thing or two about it. You find this wonderful thing that they do on Instagram. Maybe some of you have seen this, where they decide, we're just going to not even permit you to see this. Well, you can actually see it, but in order to see it, you have to click on it, right? And you click on it, it says, false information. You bad people, this is false information. That's how the phaggg-checkers talk. That's exactly how they talk. That's their inflection, and they all have lisps, because they're phaggg-checkers. So anyway, the same information was reviewed by blah blah blah. So this is the kind of thing I've seen, come up on, people, when people post something, more germane to aspects of the deep state or whatever, the kind of party line that they're trying to promote, with respect to whether it's Ukraine and Russia, or whether it's the certain allegations about corruption within the mainstream media, or allegations of corruption within the government. That's where I most often see these kinds of things. That's false information. But here the phaggg-checkers have actually expanded out to cover it. I mean, it's so over the top. Like they cover that they don't let you see it unless you click on it. Unless you click on see post. You click on the picture, then it tells you this is false information. We can't trust you with this information. We're just going to tell you that it's false. Oh well, but you can look at it. I guess we'll let you look at it, but only after we wag our finger at you and tell you really shouldn't be looking at this because this is false. Just like just like that creep Cuomo said, about the WikiLeaks dump back in 2016. This is actually illegal. You're not allowed to read this on your own. You can only hear about it from us, the media, which was completely false, completely untrue. But that's the way they carry on, and that's the way they think of themselves, these people. Okay, so before we see why, let's see what the post is. Okay, so this is one of the flat Earth expression of one of the flat Earth's ideas. Antarctica is the highest continent on the Earth, with an average elevation of 7,545 feet above sea level. The edge of the flat Earth. So, the flat Earth model says that Antarctica there's not really Antarctica per se. There's an ice wall. The world is flat, and there's an ice wall that surrounds the Earth on all sides, and it's the edge of the flat Earth. So, without getting into the question of this being true or false, let's just talk about why the phaggg-checkers got their nose bent out of shape over this one. Okay, so see why the phaggg-checkers say this is false. Okay. False! I tell you, this is false! Okay, independent phaggg-checkers say this information has no basis in fact. Phaggg-checker, science feedback. Conclusion. False! More information. The Earth is a sphere that rotates on its axis and revolves around the sun, contrary to flat Earth video. So that's just restating, the sphere Earth hypothesis. Which again, by default, I don't have any problem believing that the Earth is spherical, but this is not. This is supposed to be refuting what's said here, and it doesn't address what's said here. It just says, the flat earthers are wrong. The Earth is not flat. The Earth is round. All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty thin gruel. And it's strange that they would choose this particular picture to focus on. Is there something about the whole idea of Antarctica being an ice wall that they just really want to hone in on? Because this guy, I don't know who he is, but his entire Instagram page is just all about how the Earth is flat. And every single post that he makes is about how the Earth is flat. It's astronaut. So the astronauts are not really in space. and so forth and so on. So you can see stars rotate, not Earth, but they didn't put a black or gray. They didn't gray out any of these. They just picked that one to gray out. Was that just a completely random thing? Or is it because it mentioned Antarctica? Is there something? See, I'm willing. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the answer to all of this. This is just speculation. But I'm willing to hazard a guess that there's something about Antarctica. Bringing up Antarctica might just be a sore spot for the phaggg-checkers and for who the ones who they serve, right? Because they exist not to serve the truth. They exist to serve the powers that be. The phaggg-checkers are the hall monitors, telling you not to run in the halls, telling you better shape up. They're the equivalent of that for the corrupt powers that be. So I'm left with some questions here as to why they chose that. And again, I'm just kind of amused by it. This is not. I really don't want this to become a flat Earth versus round ball Earth debate. I just tend to see it as a kind of waste of time. Even if the Earth is flat, that still doesn't stop the fact that the elites are raping kids. I'm much more exercised about pedogate than I am about if NASA and the rest of them are lying to us about the shape of the Earth and lying to us about the cosmology of the world in which we live, or the cosmology of the universe, or whatever. But anyway, those are my thoughts. So why did they choose that particular post to block off and say false? Any ideas? Please feel free to chime in. Thanks for watching.